welcome back. We're going to hike Bridge Loop today, and it's going to be a good day. I'm standing in the parking lot, you may recall from the information and orientation video. The trailhead is in front of me, the trail end is behind me. You'll see that as we finish the hike. Enjoy. The Bridge Loop trailhead. Once again, the trail blaze, the name of the trail, and we can tell it's a trailhead because we're at 0 miles. One thing I like about Elachee is that you can go from gravel parking to trailhead, and in just a very brief walk you can be into Chicopee Woods, just as you see. I'm taping this in the middle of July, so the vegetation is pretty much at its peak. Lots of muscadine vines, lots of other junk vines that encroach upon the trail sometimes. We have a mix of hardwood forest, and then we'll go through stretches of pine forest. Different ecosystems appear as we walk along. You may recall on the map that we briefly share the Elachee Creek Loop with Bridge Loop. If I turn left here, I would be on Elachee Creek Loop, one of the interior trails, and would be at the Nature Center building very quickly. If we were filming this in January, you would be able to see the building from here, as a matter of fact, with the leaves off the trees. So we turn right, we stay on Bridge Loop, but we share Elachee Creek Loop briefly. You can see the double sign and the double blaze on the tree here in a moment. And the Elachee Creek Loop will depart for Bridge Loop here momentarily, and we'll be on Bridge Loop all by itself. This is pretty typical in the hardwood section. Lots of mature trees, lots of saplings. After a good windstorm, we'll have some of these mature trees. Oh, there's a friend. We run across these guys every once in a while. Looks like he's feeding on the ants, or maybe they're trying to feed on him. I can't figure that out right now. But he was active. Yeah, now he's trying to hide his head. We'll let him have the trail for a while. And here's where Elachee Creek Loop departs. As I was saying before the turtle interrupted me, is that a turtle or a tortoise? I call them turtles. Grew up in the South. They're all turtles to me. But mature and immature trees, and unfortunately some of the more mature ones will take a fall in the heavy winds. If they're not on the trail, we let them lie. If they're across the trail, of course, we're going to cut them to allow people to pass. But what you're seeing now is fairly typical of the hardwood sections of the trail. So I will be fast forwarding some of these areas just to make the video a little bit shorter than it would be otherwise. And as you see the quarter-mile point on Bridge Loop, I'll explain the protocol of the mile markers. You'll see all of the mile markers on the left as we hike Bridge Loop, increasing in mileage. And this is why. If somebody was out here on the trail and had a problem, and let's say at this point they had a sprained ankle, and they called in and they said, they have a problem, need some help, we would ask, okay, what trail are you on? Hopefully they would know Bridge Loop. Do you remember a mile marker that you passed recently? And they would say, yeah, I passed the quarter-mile point. We would ask, was the mile marker on the left or was it on the right? They would say on the left. Then we would know that they had passed the quarter-mile marker en route to the half-mile marker, so they're between the quarter-mile and half-mile point. Seems to work very well. We're approaching the intersection with the Ridge Trail. I'll show you the map here momentarily. But here you see the end of the Ridge Trail. It's only 35/100ths of a mile long, blue blaze. So we'll continue on Bridge Loop, and as I said, see where we are on the map. This is one of 30 some odd bridges in the preserve. This was a collaborative effort built by a contractor, the trail crew, and as you see on the sign, funds from a happy hiker. Three-quarters of a mile. This is a completely different hike in the wintertime when all the leaves are off the trees. You can see so far, you can see the creek straight ahead down below me. Different hike. We cut 70 4x4s 20 inches long. Here are 3 of them. For the hill that we're getting ready to go up and over. Not knowing exactly how many we were going to need, we used 13 on this side. We'll show you the other side momentarily. We use 56 on this side. Let me show you one thing here. A few weeks ago I noticed either animal and or people were cutting off these few steps and taking a path across there, which is one of my pet peeves. So I cut up some brush that was available and put it there. It seems to have stopped the problem. I find it interesting, people come out here to hike and they want to save a few steps by getting off the trail. So I said 56 steps on this side, 13 on the other side. That adds up to 69. So we had one left over. I'll show you what we did with it in a moment. We're at the 1 mile point. One of the many little creek tributaries along the way. The name of this channel is Hike at Your Own Pace. My pace slows down now because we start a pretty good grade up. And here is our 70th step. That would be a good place to put it. One of our trademarks coming up. We've made sure to include on our reroutes and our new trail, the backcountry. We found a pair of trees that seem to be just needing to be walked through like that. Now the one on the backcountry actually has a function. I'll show you that when we hike the backcountry. Don't let me forget. Hello there.
How are you?
Very well, and you?
I remember you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
I did trail maintenance with you.
Yeah, you did. Hey, I'm doing a GoPro of the trail. You mind being on YouTube?
I didn't mind a bit.
Good. Remind me of your name, please.
I'm Richard.
Richard, there you go.
Yep.
Dave Scobie.
So, yeah, I remember. I haven't been out in a while. So, it's nice to be out here. I like the trail.
New reroute?
I do.
Good.
Nice to have a change.
Yeah, it is.
So,
And it's really pretty after the leaves come off. You can see so much.
I saw it last fall.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, it looks great.
Hey, we just made it to the top of the hill when we met Richard. That's a 1/4 mile climb, which is a fairly decent climb. And you see the 1.25 marker. We're entering the intersection of Lake Loop and Bridge Loop and the overlap portion of the trail. So you can see our signs. We take a right, we go Lake Loop, not quite a mile. And if we turn around and came back the way we just have been, 1.3 miles back to the Nature Center. This is the overlap section. Both Bridge Loop and Lake Loop share about 4/10 of a mile. The 1.5 mile point on Bridge Loop, you can see it shares it with Lake Loop. Since the mileage references Bridge Loop, the Bridge Loop label is on top. Now you can see we're at the 2 mile point on Lake Loop because the Lake Loop label is on top. 1 3/4 miles on Bridge Loop. Almost to the suspension bridge. I just bumped into Izzy from Oregon.
Yeah, woohoo!
Doesn't hike out here often, but she's going to be watching the YouTube channel when it comes up.
Yes.
Great
Hike at
to
your
meet.
pace.
Great, exactly. Thanks for the advertisement and have fun
Of course, yeah,
while you're in
thank you.
Georgia.
Thank you, I appreciate
Okay,
it.
take care.
Bye.
Bye now. The suspension bridge almost 150 feet across. Another intersection, this is where Lake Loop departs the overlap. Lake Loop goes that way to the lake, you might have guessed. We're going to continue on Bridge Loop. You can see the trails with the blaze colors illustrating which way to go. And we have about 1.3 miles back to the parking lot. This bridge has been here a few days, and you may see the sway and the lean. This is our next bridge replacement project, and I'm hoping I can document that with an episode or two of building it. Our plan is to go from here right across on top of that rock on the other side. That will provide sufficient foundation. We'll talk about that another day. 2.25 miles. And this is the intersection with the end of Upland. And you can see 2/3 of a mile trail from almost the end of Bridge to this point. I'll show you where Upland starts in just a moment. Norma, who is one of our senior naturalists, has been very kind to join me on the trail to talk to you about some very interesting features. Welcome, Norma.
Hello, welcome. I'm standing here by Vulture Rock Creek, but I also wanted to point out this rock formation that you see on the slope above it. This is part of the Brevard Fault. It's an ancient fault that runs from Montgomery, Alabama up into North Carolina. So what you see here are ancient rocks thought to be about 250 million years old. And over time, that's eroded away. You can see the rocks here, and it's part of that ancient Brevard Fault. It's dormant and hasn't been active since 185 million years ago, so we don't have earthquakes and that going on here. But it does affect the water that flows here. So Vulture Rock Creek eventually runs down and will join the Oconee River, which joins the Altamaha River and eventually into the Atlantic Ocean. Any water falling on the other side of this hilltop here is falling down into the Chattahoochee watershed, and it flows into the Gulf.
So I want to make sure I understood what you just said. You're saying any water on this side of that hill is going to flow into the Atlantic.
That's correct.
And if I walk across that hill and pour out a cup of water, it's going to end up in the Gulf.
Exactly.
How does that work?
So it's kind of the continental divide. It's where the two watersheds separate with a ridge line in between. So, and because of the Brevard Fault, the Chattahoochee runs the way it does. It kind of indicated where the river would go.
That's amazing. Why is it nobody knows that around here?
We try to teach it at Elachee.
Well, you've done a very good job of it.
Very good. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Norma. Two and a half miles. We're getting closer. Two and 3/4. The end of our backcountry trail. We will hike it another day. So backcountry intersects bridge loop right where we're standing. And you would have to continue on bridge loop to get to a vehicle if you had it on this side. Another reroute for the same reason. Lots of roots exposed. The area just need to be reforested. So this is, I think, the very last reroute that we've opened. We see a lot of mulch here. Been really muddy. We try to dry it. Once again, slowing down the pace. Steep incline. Three miles, about 250 plus feet to go. That's the top of the rerouted section. We just bypassed. And here is the upland trailhead. And you saw the intersection where it met Bridge Loop a little bit ago. And there's the end of our trail marker, Bridge Loop. Looks like we've got a few birds that have attacked that. 3.05.